All right, guys. All right. This is part 2. We completed the controller. All right. So we got to continue. So now that we have the controller going, I am going to concentrate on the index and also on the detail page. So the index, what I did is I ended up copying some of the HTML into the page so that way you can skip in that part. So far this is it. We're not displaying any data, but we're going to be displaying that soon. So let's go back to the controller. We're going to create one for the edit, so we can submit data into the database. So we already got it right here. So I am going to create this. So let's create a view, add view. Just going to be a raised view, and it's going to be empty. This one's going to be called edit. All right, cool. So this is, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to color page. So let me go ahead and build that. All right, so this is the pose. That's the, you got the detail page. All right, so let's have the edit. Nope, it's not showing. I gotta figure out why it's not showing. Hold on. It's not showing. Let's see what's going on. Wow. Oh, I know why. So if we go back to the controller, we're gonna need, I thought I created just the edit page. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's create one. This one, we're gonna use the HTTP GET, and we're gonna do public. This one's gonna be action result. This one we're gonna call it edit. This one's gonna be, we're gonna pass an ID, the question mark. And this one is gonna be, we're gonna do if ID is equal to null, then what we wanna do is return the view. And here it's gonna be a new post. We have to create this view model, new post view model. I guess I created it already. All right. Yes, right there. Okay, cool. So I have that already. So then we're going to do an else. So if else, we're going to do bar pose, and it's going to be, we're going to get a repo, and we're going to get the one single pose, get pose, and this one we're going to pass the ID, just integer, and it's going to be the ID. So if we have an ID, then we're going to return the view. So this one's going to be new post view model. And here, we're going to pass ID first, and this one's going to be equal to the post ID. And we're going to do a title, and this one's going to be, guess what, post.title. And we got the body, and we're going to do post.body. The next one's going to be current image. So if we have an image, we can display it. Pose that image. And then we're going to do description, and this one's going to be post.description. The next one's going to be category, and this one's going to be post.category. category. Then we're gonna have the last one's gonna be the tags. So it's gonna be post that tags. All right, so that's that for the edit controller. Make it, let's get rid of a little red mark there. All right, so if we build it now, we should be able to display the edit page. So it's building. You guys can see it on the bottom. Just come on. Why are you taking too long? Let me do it again. F5. Okay, they're already built. All right, so now if we do pose / edit, yep, see, there's the edit page. So now we can actually implement the edit. So here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create like every post. So we're gonna be able to upload photos and all of that. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so the very first thing I want to do here, I am gonna import my model. It's gonna be that, and it's gonna be pose index. I'm sorry, pose view model. Oh, it's not working. Of course, it's not working. Okay, so that's gonna be my pose dot view models. Where is the view models? View models dot pose view models. Now that should work. All right, so let's go ahead and implement. Let's get rid of that. Here we're gonna do is we're gonna do a div class container. This is just bootstrap. And actually let's make that container fluid right here. And here we're gonna have a div on the outside. Here we're going to create a form, and it's going to be the action pose. It's going to be added action. I'm sorry, the ASP action. It's going to be the edit, and we're going to do the method. It's going to be pose, and in order to upload pictures, you want to do the ENCT type, which is the multi-form data. All right, so here we're not gonna need this. So it's gonna be the post. So then we got to pass the controller, of course. So it's gonna be ASP dash controller. Guess what? It's gonna be the post. All right, so now that we have that, the very first thing I want to do is I want to make sure it works. And we're going to do is we're going to implement title. How about that? Oh, wait a second. Let's create a variable here, which is going to be bar. Oh, it's going to be bar title, and this one's going to be okay. Post. So then we're going to do is let's go ahead and create an input. Let's go ahead and create an input. This one we're going to pass an ID. Let's pass an ID over here. So let's go ahead and do get rid of all the extra stuff. So we're gonna need to do is pass an ID, and it's going to be ASP4. This is going to be the ID. And here we're going to do is we're going to do type, which is going to be hidden. All right, that's that. And Now here we can get some bootstrap. Let me go ahead and grab that from my GitHub real quick. All right, cool. So I just copied that from my GitHub. So we're going to implement this a couple of times. That first one's going to be the title. The second one is going to be the description, and then you got the tags. Let me do that. Let me copy this a couple of times. All right. So the first one's going to be title. The second one is going to be description. And this one's going to be the tags. And then we have category. Category. There you go. Like now, let's see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and refresh. All right, cool. So we got that. We got this. We got that. So we also got to pass here. We got to pass ASP 4, and it's going to be for the title. Okay, and the next one is going to be ASP 4, and this one's going to be for description. And guess what? This one's going to be for tags. ASP tags. And this one's going to be for categories. Okay, here I want to implement something here. So whenever we click, if it's new, it will display new. If it's edit page, then it will show edit page. So let's do this. So let's do that. We're going to do the if statement. So it's going to be if model .id not equal to 0. And what you want to do is I want to display the title, and it's going to be edit post, just like that. So if it's a new one, it will display here, new title. All right, cool. So now let's move on. Now let's go ahead and create the categories, which is, there's going to be 3 different ones. So let me change this around. So here I want to do, instead of being input, I want to make it select. Select and the okay, and we're going to give it a few options here. Okay. Oh, you don't want to help out. Okay, so it's option. Let's make this one, let's bring some bootstrap here. Let's give it the first one, very first one, I'm going to give it a value of web. Actually, let's make that capitalized. Web developing. Develop. All right, so I got my first one. Let's copy that 3 times. All right, so I got that. So the second one, I'm going to make this one JavaScript. JavaScript. And the last one, I'm going to make it front. It's going to be called front end. Oh, front developing. There you go. Front develop. just like that. Let me see if I can get it to work. Yeah, that's that. So in every form, you're gonna have a button to submit. So we're gonna need that right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and create a button. Let's go ahead and create a submit button. Let me go back over here. We need, before the button, we actually need a couple more things. All right, so here's going to be the one for the body. This is going to be for the body. Let's give it a class. This one's going to be control label. Control label, let's try that. And then here we're going to create a text area. So text. Right. This one is going to be class, and it's going to be form control. Here is going to be the image. We're going to pass that. So here we're going to create an input. It's going to be, let's do btn dash info. And this one's going to be for the image. btn. Here in the text area, we also got to pass. And this one's going to be ASP.4. And this one's going to be for body. All right. Let me see. Oh, we got to get rid of that. 10, text area form control body comes. This one's just going to be control. Yep, perfect. All right, so we can do that. We can type. Perfect. So far, so look, this is, you can pick a file. Yeah, see, you can actually pick a file now. Let's go ahead and click cancel. Cool. So now let's work on the button. So the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do a little bit different. Let me show you guys. All right, guys. So I just copied HTML, and what I did is I ended up creating a row. One is when the button on it says submit. This one here is for create. This one's another one for to go back. So now we can actually test it. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to save it. All right, cool. So this one's going to be my first post. This one's going to be amazing. And the tag is going to be developing. Let's use JavaScript. Let's write create my amazing post. Let's choose the image. Let's just do images. Let's pick this one. All right, let's hit create. Cool. Of course, it's not going to show anything right now at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open my my SQLite, and I'm going to show you guys that is actually there. So let me do that right now. This is just for testing. So let me go ahead and open. Let me find the file real quick. Let me go right here in my blog. Oh, right here, my posts. And then click on that folder. And if we go here where it says pose, voila, see it's right there. It actually shows you a picture. And if you actually go to the actual application, you actually have a folder. No, it's not there. Thought I did. I guess I didn't create a folder. So I have to create a folder. So that I can actually show the pictures. So let me go ahead and do that right now. All right, so in order to display the images, we got to create a folder. And we're going to name this one. We're going to name it content. And inside this folder, we're going to name another, we're going to create another folder. And this one is going to be a lot. Okay, so there's one more step we have to follow. So once we do that, in order for ASP.NET Core to know where to display the image, I'm sorry, where to save the images, you got to go to your app settings right here, app settings JSON. And here we got to create a path. So let's do that right now. So this is going to be a path. It's going to be images. This one's going to be www root. And this one's going to be content. This one's going to be blog. That's that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to let's rebuild the application. I'm going to try to save another image. Cool. It built. Oh, let me see what just happened. Said value. Oh. I messed up there. Yeah, you guys see that where I messed up. All right, so let me refresh the page. No, looks like I have to rebuild the application again. All right, so it's working. Cool beat. All right, so this is going to be second pose. Okay, one of the pose number 2. Pose number 2. This is another great pose. And let's put down developing. And let's put down just from and developing. We put down thank you ASP.NET Core for the developing. All right, so let's pick a picture. Let's pick this one. Let's get create. All right, cool. So let me go back over here. Let me refresh this. I see how I have a second pose, and it's called pose number my first pose. This is pose number 2. See, pose number 2. All right, so now that I did that, I actually have a folder because I already created the path. I actually have an actual image here. You see, and the image is right there. Cool. So it's working so far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. I love ASP.NET Core. All right, so in order to display the data, we're going to have to go to the index, which is right here. So, okay. So I want to work on the index page now. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another, I'm going to create an index, a new index view model. So let's create a class. This one, I'm going to call it index view model. Here we're going to do is we're going to do public enumerable, and we're going to pass the pose. This one's going to be from pose. This one's going to be get and it's going to be a set. All right. Now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the index, and I want to go ahead and implement that. So it's going to be model, and it's going to be index. Hold on. My post that the view model. It's going to be index view model. All right. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and do the for each loop. For each. And that's going to be bar pose and models that pose. All right, cool. No errors so far. So good. No errors. So let's just test it for simplicity. Let's go ahead and test that. Let's put down. Let's do post that title. Let's cross my fingers and it should work. Uh-oh, we have an error. Let me see what the error is. Oh, I haven't, because I haven't imported this. Make sure you don't miss that. And let me see what that one is. Part title. Oh. Let's make this one capitalize. Capitalize. Let's try that. I'm using it right now. Why are you saying I'm not using it? Oh, okay. It says I never use it. Oh, I see why. I think I see why. Okay, so I haven't used this, so I gotta use it here. It's gonna be title. All right, cool. So all I'm doing right here, I'm just telling that if it's edit, show edit post. If it's a create post, this would change to create post. That's it. So let's see if that works. Have to rebuild the application again. Oh, I have an error. That's a big error too. All right, let's figure out why. All right, so I'm getting an error. I'm going to refactor the code so you guys can show you something real quick. So I'm not going to use the index view model yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pose, and I'm going to do IE no row my pose. So now that I wrapped it up on inside the I rows, and then I got to refactor the code here. So let's do that. Let's build the project. See if we get it going right now. All right, so let's go to pose. All right, so yep, there's my first pose. So I'm gonna do a little bit of HTML here. So you can go ahead and display the picture and everything. So let me go ahead and go to the GitHub, grab it, and I can show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, so I end up copying some of this HTML code from my GitHub repo, so you guys can have the same access. So what I did is I created a variable with the image path, which is content blog, and this is the post image. All I'm doing is following a path, which is the content blog which is right there. And then also I put ID, and then I put the title and the description. And that's pretty much it. So that is for, so on the first one, I don't have an image. So if I want to edit, so let me do that. Let me edit the first one. So let's go ahead and let's go pose. See if that edit works. Yeah, it works. Perfect. All right, so let me choose a picture. So if you guys, let me go back. So if you guys see, there's no picture here because I didn't, when I was creating that, I didn't have the path for the image, so it couldn't save it into the actual SQLite. Actually, no, not SQLite, into the path for the folder. So let's test it and see if it works. So let's go edit --1. Let's pick a picture. I'm gonna pick this one and let's see if it works. Voila, it works. See that, guys? Oh my goodness. Perfect. So you got one pose, two pose, and let me close this. And now I am going to create the second page, which is the detail page, which we're going to show more pictures. So let's do that right now. Come on, guys. All right, so let's go to the detail page and just right there. Okay, so in the detail page, the very first thing you guys should always do is make sure you import your model so that you guys have access. This one's going to be my pose.models.pose. All right, so here I am going to delete this here. This is my detail. So it's going to be view bag dot title. This one here is going to be detail page. Detail page. Here I'm just going to copy some HTML here. So let me go ahead and grab that from my GitHub real quick, and then guys, so I copy from my GitHub the HTML. All right, so that's cool. We go ahead and build it. So actually, before I start building, let me show you guys. So what I did is, this was the detail page. I just imported my pose, the model pose, and I put it, the title is going to be detail. I created, you guys should know about this, the datetime. And here, all I did is created the path for the image, and I put down the title, and of course, whatever the detail was, like all of that. So let me go ahead and build that, and let me show you guys what it looks like. All right, so you go to pose. So that's all my posts I got right now. So if you click on the first one, see, that sends you to the detail page. All right, so if you want to go back, and now let's take a look at the second pose. All right, so that's working. All right, cool. So I want to create one more pose. So let me go make sure everything's working. So let's create one more pose. This one's going to be pose number 3. This one's here. It's going to be never stop dreaming, tags developing, done, front end developing. Let's create another pose. Now let's pick a different picture. Let's create that one. Okay, cool. So now if we are here, yeah, see, there's the third pose. And that's the detail page. Great, it's working so far, so good. All right, so now what we can do is we can actually implement the comment. Actually, you know what? Let's create an index page so we can create the pagination. Okay, let's do that right now. All right, guys, let's do the pagine. Let's create the index view model. Actually, we did already because we're going to implement the pagination. All right, so here, what we're going to need is we're going to need a couple properties. So here we're going to do the page number. That's the first one. So second one is going to be, it's going to be the next page. Next page here, we're going to do category. And here we're going to do the search, so we can search stuff. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go. The first thing I want to do is I want to go to the repo, the interface, which is right here. So let's implement the index view model here. So first we're going to do index view model, and we're going to do get all posts. And the first one is going to be the page number. The second one is going to be the category. All right. Let's go ahead and import this. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and make sure you save it. And let's go ahead and go to the repository, which is right here, the repo. And here we got to implement that interface. So let's find it. Oh, here it is. Let's actually let's move this one. Let's actually bring it up all the way. Let me put it right underneath here. Right there. So let's start with this one. All right, so let's go ahead and work on this one here. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do is use the font, and we're going to pass two properties here. We're going to pass bool, and we're going to pass, sorry, not bool, bool and pose. Here we got to do in category. Oh, wait, not category. We're going to make that equal to pose. And what you want to do here, you want to do is you want to return the pose that category. This is going to be, we got to make sure we make it to lower, and make it that equals to category. Lower. Right, so we have implemented that, and then once we have that, so you want to do, now you want to do the page size. So that's going to be an integer. So make sure you do the page size. And here we want to do 5 items per page. And the next one we got, let's declare an integer. It's going to be skip amount, and you want to patch the page size, and you want to multiply that by the page number -1. Okay, -1. So we're going to do that. So now you want to create a variable query, and then there you want to pass the context rows. This one you want to make it as queryable. So now we have that. So now we got to do it. What we're going to do is we got to do it if string is null or empty. And we got to pass category. Want to do is query equal to query that where X is in category, and you got to pass the X. So here we want to do an int, and we want to do the pose count. This one you want to do query dot count. Query dot count. All right, so now what you want to do is now we can do the return. So want to return is a new index view model. Here then we can pass the page number. You want to make that equal to page number. Then you have the next page. We might make that equal to post count is greater than skip amount plus page number. So and then you got to do the categories. Category. Oh, this one has to be lowercase. And it's going to be pose equal to query. This one you want to do skip. And then you want to skip the amount. Then you want to take page size, not page number. To this. I figure out why the categories. Let's figure out category. Oh, I think I know why. So I have it here capitalized. We got to go back. Got to fix this. It's supposed to be category. Let's go back here. So let's see now. Yeah, have a little boo with it. All right. So now that's that. Cool. So now you can go to the controller and create another method. But let me build it. Make sure I don't have any errors. It's gonna take just a second. I want to make sure it builds up. So let me go ahead and go to the controller. Yeah, it's working. So let's go to the controller now. So no errors so far. Let's go to the post controller and implement the pagination. Okay. So okay, so now that I have the repo, I'm gonna go ahead and implement the pagination. So here in the index, we gotta pass the page number, and we gotta pass the category. Here, what I'm going to do is if page number is less than 1, you can do return redirect to action, and we want to send them to the index. The index. So it's going to be the page number equal to 1. And we also want to pass the category. Now here we want to pass the page number, and then we're going to pass the category. So now that we have all of that, we can actually go to the index and implement a few things over here. All right, let's do that over here. So right here, right below this dip here, we want to do a if. So we want to do if model that page number. In order for this to work, we got to pass. All right, so instead of getting it from, in order for this to work, it's going to be coming from the view models, and it's going to be index view models. So now we should be able to pass the model that page number. Okay, so I'm gonna have to refactor the code a little bit. All right, so in order for, because now that I type in, bring it in for index view model, it's actually, we got to take out this one. We don't need the I new row anymore here. And then here, it's actually, we got to pass model that pose. All right, so that's working. The reason is because we're using index view model. And index view model is already has the pose, I'm numeral pose. So that's the reason we don't need it anymore. All right, so we're here, back over here. So here now we can actually pass the buttons on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass a button here. So it's going to be, let's implement this. This is just a bootstrap class, and this one's going to be info, and this one's going to be ASP action. Excuse me. And this one here is going to be ASP controller. And you also want to pass here the ASP route. This is for the beef. This is going to be for the category. This one I'm going to pass the model. This is going to be category. Then we got to pass the ASP route. Page number. And here we got to make it to model that page number -1. It's going to be previous page. Now that's if it's greater than 1. Okay. Now we got to implement the if next page. Now let's do that right now. We're going to do if model next page. We're going to do the A. VTM dash info. And we got to pass. It's going to be similar to this. So let's go ahead and copy this. Just going to copy that. All right, so that's the next post. It's actually supposed to be post. Okay, there. So that's that. And here we're going to pass the same thing. This one, instead of being -1, is going to be +1. And this one's going to be next page. This one's going to be called next page. Just like that. Okay, so let me double check the code. So here we put down if it's greater than 1, we want to, this is going to be the previous page. Oh, I forgot to close it. All right. And this one here, if is, this one's going to be, if the model is going to be for the next page, for the, if is +1. So let's go ahead and build that. See what we get. So let's go to the post. If, yeah. Cool beans. Perfect. Yeah, so that's working. Cool. All right. So far so good. Next thing. All right. Let's just go over here. Let's go to my post. Let me see what I want to do. All right, so next thing, before I start moving into the next one, all right. Oh, if you notice, see that how it shows page number? So if you want to click on see page number 2. So let's go back. The next thing I want to do, I'm going to create a comment. So that way people are able to write a comment on the bottom over here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so let me close some of these pages right now. Let's go ahead and close these. Go ahead and close that. Let's go ahead and close this page. Let's go ahead and close this one for now. All right, so, and very first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to the models, which is here, and I'm going to go to the models, and I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to call it comments. So let's create that. Let's create that. So inside that one, I'm going to create a class, and this one's going to be called. This one's going to be called comments. Actually, comment. And there, we're going to create one that's going to be called another class. It's going to be called main comment. And we're going to have another one for the sub comment. Sub comment. All right, perfect. So the very first one, and the very first one is going to be the comment right here. This one I'm going to pass an ID. Next one's going to be the message. This one's going to be message. Then you want to have the time when it was created. So we're going to pass date time. Date time, and this one is going to be when it was created. Create. All right. And then, all right, so we got the ID, the message, when it was created. So now we're going to go to the main comment. Here, what you want to do is you want to derive from comment. So here, well, let's pass a list. Subcomment. And it's going to be subcomments. All right. And now we can actually go to this subcomment. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to pass. This one's going to derive from comment. And here you want to do is pass the ID, which is from main comment ID. Perfect. Cool beans. Okay, so now that we have that, we got to go back to where it says pose. And here you want to do is we got to pass a list of main comments. I'm sorry, main comment. So it's going to be main comments. Make sure you import that. Okay, so we have that. Cool, cool. So now we got to go. Now we got to go to the data so we can go ahead and do our migration. All right, so here we're going to pass two properties. So we got to do dv set. This one's going to be main comment. Main comment. Main comments. Let's fix this one. Main comment. Let's just copy this one because this one's very similar. And this one's going to be the sub comment. So now we can go ahead and create a migration. So this one's simple. So we just do add migration. Add more models. That's what I'm going to name it. Add more models. If everything goes well. Okay, now we can do update database. Okay, no errors. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's go ahead and close this one too. Let's go ahead and close this one. Sweet. Let's go ahead and close that. All right. So now we can go to our repo. So let's go here to the interface. Go here, and we can actually go where it says on the bottom, we can pass. You're going to do add sub comment. And this one's going to be sub comment from comment. Cool. So now we have that. So now we can actually add comments, sub comments. Okay, so like how we were doing that before, we have to now we have to go to a regular repository, and then we have to implement it in order to access it inside the controller. So let's hit Control dot. It's probably all the way at the bottom. All right, so here, very simple. It's going to be context dot subcommons. Subcommon, and what you want to do is you want to add, and what you want to do is you want to add the comment. So because we're implementing this in the actual detail page, which is right here, you want to do, what you want to do is you want to include. So let's go ahead and include that over here. Include. And what do you want to include it here? That main comments. Then you can actually do then. I'll call that one M that man. This one's going to be the subcommons. We have to go hit Control dot to make sure we use the entity framework core. This one's going to be sub. That's let's go ahead and build it, make sure there's no errors at all. No errors at all whatsoever. Cool. Make sure I don't have any errors at all. Let me go back to the pose. All right, cool. So that's working great. So let's go back over here. Let's go to the controller. Let's go to the post controller. So we're going to create a few things over here. All right, so now we're done with the repo. So let's create a post. Let's create a HTTP post too, so you can go ahead and write comments. All right, so let's do HTTP post how we were doing it before. Here, what we want to do is you want to do public async tags. You want to pass action result, and this one's going to be comment. Here, you want to pass comment view model. Let's just make this one. Let's call it view model. We have to create this comment view model. So we want to, let's continue over here. Let's do if model state. The model state. Model state is valid. I'm sorry, if it's not model state valid, you want to do is return. You want to return it, redirect to action. And this one's going to be, yeah, you got to pass the ID and you got to make that equal to ID. So you got to make it equal to that post ID. So then you want to do So here what we're gonna do is create a, let's take this one because this one is all gonna name. Let's take that one out. Let's take this one, and here you want to do is you want to create a variable, and this one's going to be called post. This one is gonna, you want to use the repo, and then you want to get the post, get a single post, get post, and you want to pass the view model. That post ID, of course, it's not going to work yet because I have to make it. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's go and create this one. Let's create a class, and this one's going to be called this common view model. Okay, three things here. We're gonna need the ID. It's gonna be post ID. Let's make it require. Let's make it require. And you want to pass. You want to pass another integer, which is going to be the main common ID, and then this one's going to be the message. This one right here. Let's go ahead and make it require all of these. Okay, let's make it require. Let's make this one require. Let's make this one require. All right. So that's see now, no more error. Cool. So back to the controller, we want to do is if view model dot main common ID is it's equal to 0, which means like there's no comments. You want to do is you want to do post dot comments equal to post dot main comments or new list and comments. Okay, so now we have that. We already imported that. So now you want to do post dot main comments dot odd, and you want to do as new main comment. And here you want to do is you want to pass the message that's coming from the class view model dot message and that create equals a time dot now. Here you want to do is repo dot update post. This is if you want to update the post. Okay, so that's that. Now that we're finished with the if, so now we can do the else. Here is going to create a variable which is going to be called comment. Here you want to do a new sub comment. You want to pass main comment ID is equal to view dot main comment ID, and you want to pass the message. The message you want to make it equal to view dot message, and you want to pass, of course, the when it was created. So we want to do that view model dot create. Actually, no, not view model. It's gonna be, you need to pass datetime that now. Because you want to display the time that was put in. All right, so that's the. Then once you pass that, of course, you want to save it in. So you want to do that repo dot add sub comment. All right, so that's that. And then because it's asynchronous, you want to do you want to await that repo, and then that's it. Then you want to do is save changes. Save changes. So now once it's saved, then you want to do is you want to return, redirect to action, and you want to go send it back to the detail page. And here it's going to be, we got to create a new ID, which is going to be ID equals view model post ID. All right, cool. So now we can actually go back. So let's go ahead and close that controller. Let's close that. Now we can actually go to the view model and go to pose and go to the detail here. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab, it's just the HTML, and I'm just gonna grab the code from my GitHub, so that way you guys can, we can continue the programming area. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the code. You guys will see it, and I'll explain it to you guys. All right, guys, so what I did is I just copied the code, and what I end up doing is I end up creating this div where all the comments can show. And also I end up creating a partial view, which is I call the main comment, which is over here. It's just a form. What I did is I give it a little style on it. And so I end up putting a form, which is pose with a controller pose, the action comment. What I did is I end up giving an ID, which is comment ID. So you can actually add the comment. So that right there is coming from over here. See, so every time I create a comment, it's that, and then in order for me to display, I did so every time I write a comment, I will display here in the same page. What I did is I end up creating the for each loop, so which is right here. Then I end up creating another one here, which is the same thing as here. You see it? This main comment. See, it's right here. It says comment view model. So every time you create another one. So this one here, it's a sub comment. So another form right here. So it's just a style. So let me go ahead and build this so you guys can see it. All right. So let's go here to post number 3. Let's submit a comment. Let's just put down nice pose. See, it shows the time, the day, and everything. And then you can actually write more. Cool. And all of that is actually getting saved into the database. So let me refresh this. So say so everything is saved into that. Let me go ahead and open this. See how it shows the sub comments here. See whatever I'm posting, it shows there on the post main comments. See all these. So everything's getting saved into the backend. So it's pretty cool, right? All right, guys. So let's do a recap. So we created a post. We can actually submit, which is the edit page. We give it a pagination. We can edit our post if you want. If you want to write a new post, see, create a post. If you want to edit the post, you can actually do that. See, you can upload pictures. You can go back to the list. Amazing. See, it's pretty good. And you can write a comment. So it's not bad. All right, guys, it was a long video, but I wanted to go ahead and finish this. So stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to continue on my API. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to do an API with the Angular. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.